Hey everybody, welcome back to the Daniel Scott Design video series, and today we are talking about the Andycine A6 Plus version 2. And so this is my first monitor, so I feel like I'm really able to up my game with this. At least it makes me look a little bit more professional. But really, honestly, I think that this airs on more of the professional side, and the fact that it's touchscreen, pitch to zoom, and the layout, and it's just awesome. Here's the front view. At the bottom of the monitor is an SD card slot for loading LUTs, a DC-in 12-volt headphone jack, and a DC-in 5-volt USB-C. A 1/4 20-inch mount on the right side. On the left is a full HDMI in as well as an HDMI out, along with a DC out 8-volt for charging other electronics, such as a camera. On the top is a power button, a 1/4 20 mount, and a scroll push menu wheel. So if we look around the back, there are two battery mount options. One is the Sony NP-F battery, and the other is the Canon style LP-E6 battery. So you can use either or. You will need an HDMI out on your camera. I'm still rocking the Canon 6D, and so I'm just exporting out 1080p at 24 frames per second, but it can handle more than those frames if you need to at 1080p. And so it does come with an Andycine NP-F style battery. So if you have those Sony NP-F batteries laying around, you should have no problem with power there. But having the version 2 offers the USB-C port, so you can charge your monitor for a long time if you have one of these third-party cell phone battery chargers. So this one just, has basically USB out, and then I have a USB-C end on this side, and I just kind of plug it right in there, and I'm able to probably record just about all day with that thing. I've noticed that with the battery that came shipped with it, it'll probably last maybe about 45 minutes if you have it on all the time. So if you're going to be filming for more than 45 minutes, make sure you have a few extra batteries or a third-party battery solution that you can plug into the USB-C there. Andycine ships their monitor in this really cool carrying case, and I just feel it's really durable. I think it's meant to kind of get bumped around just a little bit. It does come with its own external monitor holder, and it swivels, and it's really secure. It's made of metal. It's not cheap and plastic. I chose not to use this because it just kind of gets in the way of my handle there, and also I prefer the kind of a more compact way to swivel it around. So this is a third-party. I'll put a link in there. I'm not really sure which manufacturer makes it, but I'm able to swivel it around if I need to. And also, it does come with the sun hood, and so it basically just kind of snaps in place just like that. The sun hood is made of plastic as well as the monitor all the way around, but I think the main purpose of this monitor is to be lightweight and portable and something you can put on your gimbal. It does come with an HDMI cable here, so it's an HDMI to, I think it's a mini HDMI, and so this didn't have enough clearance, so I had to go purchase another one. This is the Amazon Basics. I think this is a 2-foot cable that I used here, so if you have a rig similar to this, you might want to consider picking up the 2-foot cable. You might have noticed that the monitor looks a little bit of a matte finish there, and it did not ship like this. This is actually a very, very glossy monitor, and so I put a screen protector on it. And so what I did is I bought some of these super shields, but it's a matte version, and so I'll put a link in the description there. But to put that on there, I did have to measure this out and cut it out accordingly, so it doesn't fit exactly on there. I think I did a pretty good job. I got a little bubble just right here. If it was on the screen somewhere, that would really bug me, but you have to really be patient and make sure that you have a dust-free zone in order to get that on there without any bubbles. So it does come with some extra shields in case you need to take a second or third stab at it. Now let's go ahead and dive into some of the menu features on this monitor. If you scroll down, you'll notice you have the option to change the volume, or you can change the backlight. Also, you can use the scroll wheel to change the volume, and if you want to change this setting to change the backlight instead, you would hold the menu button down. You come over here to settings, and you change the wheel from volume to backlight, and now we can change the backlight, but the scroll is pretty slow by doing that, so I use the touch option there. Okay, so let's scroll up and you'll see kind of a quick access menu here, and you have the follow focus, histogram, audio meter, parade, vector, and all waves. So if I turn on the focus assist, you'll notice as I change my focus racking, different items are selected there. So let me see if I can focus on that doorknob back there. Okay, and you can also change the sensitivity of the follow focus peaking by holding the menu down, going to the first menu in the wheel setting, and then if you select focus level down to 6, if you notice that the sensitivity has increased there. So the higher it is, the less sensitive it is. So I think that for what my subject is, that focus level 8 works for me, but it may be different for the subject you're trying to focus on. Okay, let's go back to the bottom menu. I'm going to turn the focus assist off. Histogram, audio meter. This camera does not output audio, so you probably have a newer camera than I do that it exports, that sends the audio signal from the HDMI into the monitor, so just be aware of that. And here's your parades. You have RGB, YUV, and Y. Your vector scope will show you how saturated or desaturated your colors are, and which color is more prominent in the field of view. So right now it's kind of leaning more in between the yellow and reds, so it's kind of picking up a lot of this orange here. And if you turn on all waves, it will display all these fancy features on here. So if you want to impress your clients, they might just think that's cool. Let's go back to the main menu here. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the first item. This is a kind of a redundant setting of the bottom menu. So you have your always, parade, vector. One of the things that's not on the bottom menu is the zebra. If I turn this on, and you can choose monochrome. I'm not sure why you would choose this setting, but it is there if you need it. On the second setting, you have 9 grid. And you have a safety marker, 2.35 to 1 ratio with CinemaScope. And you have other formats as well. And your center marker, so it shows the crosshairs there. Marker matte. And so this is similar to the safety marker, except for it shows kind of a more opaque top and bottom where the crop is. And you can change your marker color from yellow to green, red, and blue. Let's go ahead and go to the third setting. So scan mode, you have underscan or overscan. And you have a video aspect ratio, which is similar to the markers, but it will basically give you the black crops. Anamorphic mode, so you have a 2x squeeze. You have 1.5 squeeze, 1.33, 1.25. Zoom times, so this is similar to the pinch to zoom, so I just use that. It's a little bit more convenient. You could freeze a frame if you want to. And you have pixel to pixel. And let's go to the fourth menu item, and this is where your colors are. Currently I have the LUT switched to off, but if I want to switch it back on, let's say I want to use the McKinnon. It's kind of got more of an orange greenish cast to it. So these are LUTs that I have added or loaded onto this monitor. If you notice that I don't have an SD card at the bottom here, it's because of after you load them, you don't need the SD card to keep the LUTs from staying on there. Also, you can load LUTs by clicking on this LUT import button. That's assuming that you have 3D LUTs The LUTs that I imported were .cube files, so they're 3D LUTs formatted, and so you have the option for color, temperature, backlight, brightness, contrast, and saturation. Alright, and if we click on the cog menu option, we have the wheel option where you can kind of change this. We went through that earlier. You can change the language, transparency. This is the transparency of the menu, so you can change the transparency where it's 100% overlay. The OSD time is the time that this menu is displayed on the screen. You can set it for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, up to 25 seconds, but I set it to always because it's more convenient if I just kind of click off of it, as opposed to the menu just deciding that it just wants to quit. Alright, so auto mirror on. I think that's if you want to flip it this way. So if I change my monitor upside down, it'll automatically flip. I think that that's what it means, but it could be wrong. But it's a nice feature to have there. Alright, here I am testing my monitor outside. This is a very bright day, and at 500 nits this monitor is not very bright, so it's really more convenient for in-studio work, but you can get by. Here's a little clip from that shot. And here is where I'm shooting in a shady area. It's still pretty bright outside, but I'm in some shade. As you can see that the monitor is a lot more visible. And then here's before I've added the LUT, and here is after. And here's another shot before LUT is applied. I'm using the McKinnon LUT, and then there is after. So in summary, I would recommend the Andycine A6 Plus version 2 for anyone who's really needing to up their production game and have that touch zoom capability with all the features that are packed in here, the vector scope, focus peaking, and I really like the USB-C connection here because I've had to use that actually while making this YouTube video, so it's came in pretty handy. I think that as far as like brightness goes, that's the only real major downfall, but considering you're paying $230 for, and that's the current price of this, for everything that's kind of packed in here, I think you're really getting a value with this monitor. Andycine does make a monitor that is up to, I think, 2000 nits, so it's definitely daylight compatible. If you're constantly filming outside, I would definitely recommend that option, but this is definitely usable with the sunshade out. It's a little bit more difficult when you have the 2 o'clock sun just right above you and trying to kind of split your eyes, kind of see it, but other than that, it does really well in the shade, and obviously does great in studio type of setting. So I can't recommend this enough, and I'd like to know what you guys think of this. Have you guys used this, or do you think that this is something that you want to upgrade to, or are you considering other options, and why? I would just like to take this moment right now just to thank all of my subscribers. Currently I have surpassed 100 subscribers, so I'm kind of a big deal right now. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please show me that you're interested by subscribing to my channel or hitting the like button. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.